Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen to me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Hello everyone, I hope that I'm live right now, guys. If you guys are able to listen to me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How are you guys? Is everybody fine? Is everybody great? Please let me know. Is everybody fine? Is everybody great, guys? Please let me know. Good evening. Good evening. Awesome. Okay. So, could you guys let me know what have we studied in our previous class, guys? Could you guys let me know what have we studied in our previous class? Just a quick revision, guys. Just a quick revision, guys. What have we studied in our previous class? We studied about pointers, iteration, vectors. Good. Okay, so we completed a little bit of high level vectors as well, right? In today's class, we'll see an easy question related to like competitive programming. That will be the aim of today's class, guys. We'll be looking at how to use one of the most famous platforms that almost everybody uses for doing practice. If you want to get into a company, into an MNC, I've already explained it to you guys why data structures, algorithms, and competitive programming is so essential for us. Up till this point of time, what we were doing is usually termed as data structures and algorithms. Why? Because this is much more theoretical and just an understanding about how the data structure functions, how you can use them in various different arenas itself. And that is the major aim of data structures and algorithms, guys. Understanding about data structures, the practical use case inside of questions to be able to solve questions, wherein you are able to read a question, understand a question. On the basis of that, you write the code, you determine which data structure should you use for this particular question. That comes under the domain of competitive programming itself, guys. So today we are going to start with the very first question on competitive programming. It is going to be very simple, very easy question itself. I'm not taking up a very hard question. I want you guys to understand each and every part of this entire cycle that you will be following after the boot camp as well, guys. Okay, so I don't want it to just remain as if, okay, so whatever you learned in the boot camp and after that you have just stopped because you don't know what next to do. So we are going to look over that question and we are going to understand the question. We are going to think about how to think about the solution itself. What are the problem statements here? Which data structures? So, of course, we have just learned arrays and vectors. So, of course, we are going to use that itself inside of the question. That is a no-brainer for us. But nevertheless, once you have learned about all the data structures, then you will also have to think which data structure should you use in this particular question. Okay, so all that we'll be doing in today's class, guys, and we'll continue from right over there. Will that be fine, guys? Please let me know. Are you guys excited? Are you guys excited for today's class? Please let me know, guys. Are you guys excited for today's class, guys? Please let me know. Yes? Awesome, guys. Awesome. So let's get started with our today's class, guys. So one of the best platforms, now many people will suggest you many different platforms to practice from. I will be suggesting you only three platforms. Okay. If you want placements, if placements are your concern, if you want to get a good placement, for example, in the past 3 months itself, DevTown alone has placed more than 2,500 students in just 3 months. 2,500 students we have placed in just 3 months itself. And the average package that we have been able to get to our students is between 15 to 17 lakhs per annum. Highest package being 60 lakhs per annum at Google, and the lowest package being 9.5 lakhs per annum at Infosys. So we have been able to achieve very good results for our students. Keeping that in mind, these are the only three platforms from which our students were trained. So we trained our students so that they were able to get into these companies, and these were the only three platforms that we trained them from. If you guys are interested? So how many of you guys are interested in companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Samsung, JP Morgan and Chase, Goldman Sachs? These are the type of companies that you are interested in. Please let me know. These are the kind of companies that you are interested in to get a placement in such type of companies. Then then the pathway, then the platforms for you will be your Lead Code and CodeShip. Just these two platforms itself. No other platform. I know you will suggest, so what about Hacker Earth? What about Hacker Ranks? What about Geek for Geeks? If you want placements, then only these two platforms itself. Lead Code and CodeShip. Now, the second question, genuine question will be how many questions to solve, how many hours to put in, what are the type of questions that I should be solving from these two platforms. A good thumb of rule is usually before your first interviews, you should have solved at least 1,200 questions from these two platforms. 1,200 questions in total solved properly from these two platforms itself. That is a good thumb of rule that can guarantee you one thing, that you are able to get into the interviews of these companies and crack it as well. That is the number that I have seen up till now. You tell me any other platform, any other website itself, none of them will work for you. There's a reason behind it actually. So what do you think? Who will perform better? If I'm going to give an exam, let's assume I'm going to give an exam, guys. So if I'm going to give an exam and I've already solved some of the questions that are going to come in the exams, will I be performing better than the other person? Please let me know. If I'm going to give an exam at some particular point of time and I have personally solved some of the questions that are already there inside of the exam, will I be able to perform better than the rest of the people, guys? Please let me know. Yes? So that is the tip and trick that I'm giving you guys right now. And this works all the time itself. For example, companies like Samsung, companies like Amazon, companies like Geo, companies like JP Morgan and Chase, take their questions, 100% of their questions that they put up inside of their online boarding rounds as well as inside of their interviews, 100% of the questions are directly taken up from Lead Code. They don't even change the question itself. The same question they take up directly from Lead Code. From companies like Microsoft, Goldman Sachs, they take up questions directly. They don't even change the question. They take up questions directly from CodeShip. Directly from CodeShip, and they put it up inside of your exam itself. So if you have solved questions from these two platforms, somewhere around 1,200 questions in total, including both the platforms itself, then your chance of getting selected in these companies increases by a lot. And that is what you need to keep in mind. Now, for many of you guys, Google might be one of the dream companies that you want to get into. Okay. For me as well, it was one of my dream companies to get into. That was Google itself. The only difference is that I was able to get into Google. That was the only difference that was there. And nevertheless, for example, in the last 3 months itself, we have placed more than 70 students in Google. 70 students just via DevTown, we have placed them in Google itself. And the point is, they also followed a very similar path. So we created a path, and that is what I'm going to tell you guys as well. The first step of being capable enough to give a Google exam is that you should have solved at least 1,200 questions from Lead Code and CodeShip. You should have spent at least 9 months solving questions on Lead Code and CodeShip daily. You should have given at least 1 to 2 hours daily. It's not as if I'm telling, okay, twice, like in a week or something. Like daily, you should have given at least 1 to 2 hours for 6 to 9 months. You should have solved at least 1,200 questions first from Lead Code and CodeShip. The next stage to that is, once you're good at solving questions from Lead Code and CodeShip, you have to choose another platform. The third platform that I usually suggest students. This third platform is for people who want to get placed into companies like Google, Atlassian, Aptitude. These are the companies, these are your dream companies, one of the biggest paying companies itself. Like the base package for these companies is equivalent to the CTC of what Microsoft and Amazon basically gives you. So if that is your aim, then the platform that you need to practice from is called as Code Forces. The platform that you have to practice from is called as Code Forces. But if you directly go to Code Forces, if you remove the first step, if you think that you are very good at coding and you just remove the first step of lead code and code chef, 1200 questions solved, if you just remove them, directly jump to Code Forces, you will leave coding in its entirety. You will never come back to coding itself. That is how hard code chef as a platform is. That is how hard CodeShip as a platform is. That is the reason why the first step is to first solve 1200 questions from lead code and CodeShip and then move out to code forces. If you are not doing this, if this transition is not happening properly itself, you will fail very miserably inside of your own self-esteem itself. Your own self-confidence will plummet to the ground itself, and I don't want that. I want you guys to be the best out there. Okay. That is the path that you have to follow if you want to do good. And this is how you will get placements as well. So start with lead code, code chef. And then if you are good at it, then only jump to code forces. That is the path that you guys need to follow. Now, many of you guys are asking me, so what about Hacker Earth? So what about Hacker Rank? So what about Geek for Geeks? Please try to understand that these platforms are only okay for you to just develop your self-esteem, your self-confidence. It is of no use when it comes to placements. The reason for that is companies are not going to give you such easy questions when they are trying to hire you. Otherwise, everybody will get shortlisted, everybody will get selected. They don't want that. They just want the top people itself. That is the reason why they don't give, or they don't even give to the level of questions that are being asked on your Hacker Earth and Hacker Rank. Please do not practice from these platforms. If you are doing so, the only thing that will happen with you is that when you will go to the exams, you will not be able to solve a single question. You will not get shortlisted anywhere. It is as simple as that. Okay. So that is the entire pathway that I'll be suggesting for you guys if you want to get placed into good companies itself. Even average companies also follow the same process, so you will also qualify for that. Okay, so let's move out to our question, guys. That is the pathway that I was like, I wanted you guys to know. I'm so sorry for my throat itself. Let me share my screen with you guys. I hope so that you guys will be able to see my screen, right, guys? Okay, in most of the companies, so many questions are coming up related to aptitude as well. I personally feel if a particular person, so let me tell you guys this. Recently, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Accenture, all these companies came to hire at DevTown itself. They took up an online coding exam. Inside of the exams of these companies, you have two types of exams that are there. One is the online coding round, and the other one is your basic like aptitude questions as well. So, for example, there are 2 to 3 coding questions and 20 aptitude questions. If you solve all the 20 aptitude questions correctly, all 20 aptitude questions done extremely well, all of them right, and we were not able to solve single coding question, you are not going to get selected for the interviews. You are rejected right over there itself. The companies are looking for 2 skill sets right over there. First is logical skill set. Are you good at problem solving? And the second, are you good at coding? Doing just aptitude questions will show that you are good at problem solving, but you have zero coding skill sets. The second student who did all the 3 coding questions correctly but didn't even touch the aptitude questions got selected in the interviews. So for aptitude, whenever your exams are going to come, before that 7 days, just do a Google search. For example, my exams after 7 days is of TCS. Just do a simple Google search. TCS aptitude round question and answers. That's it. It will open up all the aptitude questions. 7 days, every day, 1 hour, you sit right over there, you solve questions. That's it. That is how you prepare for aptitude rounds. If you are spending any more time on that, you are actually a buffoon, you are actually a fool itself. You're just wasting your time, because that does not count. Because in most of the shit companies where there is not a good package, they will be offering you a package between like 4 lakh per annum, 3 lakh per annum, 5 lakh per annum. In these companies, you get aptitude rounds. Any of the companies giving you a particular package more than 9 lakhs per annum, don't ask aptitude questions. And if that is your aim, 3 lakh rupees per annum, 4 lakh rupees per annum, it is better to join DevTown. We offer a better package than them. Okay, so let's continue with that, guys. So today we are going to look at the question that is the two sum question from lead code. Two sum question from lead code, guys. This is the question that we are going to solve today. Okay, a very simple, a very straightforward question, guys. And we are going to try our level best that we are able to understand the question properly as well, guys. So the question basically says, I hope that you guys are able to see the question, right? We will have to log in or sign up, so we'll do that at a later point of time. Given an array of integers, nums. So we are given an array of integers called as nums. Here that is a vector which is being given to us as a vector itself, as we are able to see right over there. And a target integer. Okay. Return indices, return the index of two numbers such that they add up to the target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution, and you may not use the same element twice. You can return the answer in any order. I want everybody to read the question once, guys, before we are able to move further. I want everybody to read the question once before we are able to move further, guys. It is very important for us that you guys are able to read the question once before moving further. I want everybody to read the question before moving further, guys. If you have read the question, please let me know. If you have read the question, please let me know, guys. What is indices? So indices is basically plural of index. Okay, index is singular, indices is plural. It's basically English. It's not related to programming. Okay. So because there is two indexes that we have to return. So find the indexes of the two number that basically add up to the target. Okay. The question, let's try to understand the question. Let me open a paint right over here. Let us try to understand the question first. It is saying that it is going to give us an array. Okay, it is going to give us an array itself, which will have some numbers inside of it, which will have some size. We don't know the size, we don't know the number present inside of it. It can be anything. Okay, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, dot, 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 anything it can be. It will give us a target as well. This is the nums array. Okay, NUMS, nums array itself. It will give us a target. Let's assume the target is not Z. Let us assume the target is D. Okay, D is our target. We need to find two indexes in such a way. We need to find two indexes in such a way that when we add those numbers, that is Y plus B, we should get the target that is D. That is the question right over here. Now it is being given to us that each array will only have one solution. Each array will only have one solution, guys. There are not going to be multiple solutions right over here. I'm so sorry. Each array will only have one solution right over there, guys. It is not going to have multiple solutions. And it can never be the same number. It cannot be like Y plus Y is equals to your D. This cannot be possible. If you are selecting one element as this particular element, then the next element should be another element. It should not be the same element itself. The next particular element should be another element. It should not be the same element itself. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys are able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand the question? This is the question, guys. Are you guys able to understand the question? Awesome. You guys are so smart, man. You guys are so smart. Amazing, guys. Amazing. Okay. So right over here, according to the question, what we need to implement there is that how will we solve, like as a human being? Okay, I don't know anything about programming. I don't know anything about computers. I'm literally a person from like most, like I was living under a rock itself. How would I solve this particular question? So I am having an array. Let us create an array itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that is our array. I will take it as 8. We'll take this as this is fine. Okay. Now I will take up the first particular element. Okay, I will take up the first. Now our target is 6. Let's assume our target is 6. We'll start from the first element itself. So we'll put up I is equals to at the first element. And now I cannot include this element, guys. Now I cannot include this particular element. This element I've selected. If I think so that this is the first element that is there, the two elements, I need to select two indexes, right? I need to select two indexes. Let's assume this is the first index that I've selected. Okay, so the second index will be the next particular index. I cannot select the same index. Okay, so I will put j is equals to the second index itself. Now, is 8 plus 1 equal to 6? No, 8 plus 1 is not equal to 6. So I will move j one step further. I'll put j one step further itself. Is 1 plus 3 equal to 6? No, it is not equal to 6. Again, I will move it one step further. Is 4 plus 1 is equals to 6? No, it is not equal to 6. Again, I will move it one step further. Is 1 plus 5 equal to 6? Yes, 1 and 5 are equal to 6. That means we have found our two indexes. We have found our two indexes, guys. Let's assume if the array was not like this. Let's assume if the array was not like this. Let us delete this. We'll change this to be equal to 9. And we'll change this to be equal to 1. If this was our array, guys, if this was our array, then in that case, again, we'll follow the same steps. We'll fix the first particular element as I, that is the first element according to me. Then I'll put up the second element right over here, j. Is 9 plus 8 equal to 6? No, it is not equal to 6. So we'll shift j a little bit further. Is 9 plus 1 equal to 6? No, it is not equal to 6. We'll again move it a little bit further. Is 9 plus 4 equal to 6? No, it is not equal to 6. We'll move it further. Is 9 plus 5 equal to 6? No, it is not equal to 6. Now what to do? All the numbers I've already taken up. What to do now? Now I will shift my I once again. Instead of it pointing to the first element, I will shift it to point to the second element. Now this is my I. This is my I, guys. And I will shift my j to the next element after I. So now my j will be pointing to this particular element. I plus j is, so is 8 plus 1 equal to 6? No, it is not. I'll shift my j once again. Is 8 plus 4 equal to 6? No. So I'll again shift my j once again. Is 8 plus 5 equal to 6? No, it is not. Again, now I will shift my I a little bit further. So Control X, Control V. Now it will point to 1. Then again, I will shift my j as well. Control X, Control V. Right over here. And so on and so forth. And that is how I will be able to get my final answer as 1 plus 5 is equals to 6. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. So what am I doing? Okay, what am I doing right over here? In terms, now let's come back to reality. Now I know programming. Up till here, I did not know programming. I just put my fingers and I moved them and I figured out the answer. Now let's come to reality. Now we know programming. We know for loops. We know vectors. We know arrays. We know this much. how will I translate this into a program itself? Okay, how will I translate this into a program? What is the first step that is happening? Fixing where my eye is, right? What is the first step that is happening, guys? Fixing where my eye is. So I is iterating over the entire array. Are you guys able to see that? I is iterating over the entire array itself. Right, guys? So we'll create a for loop. Should I use another color? It's fine. For. So what will be the first for loop for I, guys? What will be the first for loop for I? Can somebody let me know? What will be the first for loop for I, guys? For int I is equals to 0, I should be less than, guys, I should be less than. Now, please try to understand this. If I, okay, so what should be I less than, guys? What should be I less than? Somebody is saying that the size of the array. Okay, somebody is saying size of the array. Now, this is the point where you need to keep things in mind, guys. This is where most of you guys are going wrong. This is where 99.99% of you guys are going wrong, guys. Why? Because you're not thinking. You are habituated with saying that, okay, I should be less than size of the array. And that is what you're saying right now. Because you're not looking at the question. You're not analyzing the question right over here. Let's assume I should be less than the size of array. That means I can come up. That means I can come up right over here. This is less than the size of the array. Where will j go? J cannot be equal to I. J should be the next element of I. Is there anything next to I, guys? Then what is the use of this loop? This is where you guys are going wrong. This is where you guys start complaining that I don't know competitive programming. I'm not able to do competitive programming because you don't keep an open mind while coding. You program yourself. This is the thing that I memorized, and this is how things are going to go in the future. It is not like that. These things that you have just learned, that is just for your utilization, just for your understanding. Now you need to adjust yourself on the basis of your question itself. Right over here, if I is less than the size of the array, then I can come up to the very last element of the array. And in that particular case, j is going outside the array itself. So what for loop are you running right over there? Is there any use of this for loop? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, guys. So the answer, like very of the guys have written very correctly, is size of the array minus 1. That I should be less than size of the array minus 1. That is absolutely correct, guys. This is the right for loop. And then I plus plus, of course, at the end, I plus plus. Okay. This is the right for loop, guys. This is the right first for loop. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. We have not taken up a very hard question, guys. We have taken up one of the most easiest questions out there. This is to understand these type of small problems that you guys face while coding. Once you solve these smaller questions, then going to difficult questions will become easier for you guys. Okay, because your brain will start opening up. See, this is just like mathematics. The more number of questions that you solve, the better you will become. Why am I an idiot telling you guys that you need to solve 1,200 questions before going into an interview? Am I an idiot for that? No, there's a reason behind it, and the reason is pretty simple. The more questions that you solve, the more type of questions you solve, the more you understand how to solve the questions, and the better you become at it. It is just like mathematics. No matter how many mathematics books you start reading, you read about integration, differentiation, you read about double integration and differentiation, everything is fine. But if you don't practice, There is no utilization of all that reading. It is zero. It is next to zero. It is negative itself. It is negative. It was better if you have not learned about it itself. It is always important for you guys to practice, guys. Okay. What about the next loop, guys? Inside. So as once the I has changed, what happens? The next thing that we are changing is J continuously, right? Once we have changed I, once we have changed the location of I, the next thing is we are changing J continuously itself. Am I right or wrong, guys? Please let me know. Am I right or wrong, guys? Please let me know. Now, what about J, guys? For int, J is equals to Z. Sorry, what should J be equal to, guys? What should we initialize J as? What should we initialize J as, guys? Please let me know. J would be equal to I plus 1. Amazing, guys. Amazing. J would be equal to I plus 1, guys. J should be less than what, guys? J should be less than what? J will always be equal to I plus 1. It should always be the next element of I, guys. Next element of I. J should be less than what, guys? What should be the answer right over here, guys? J should be less than what, guys? What should be the maximum value of J? Think about it. Size of the array. Here, J can take up the very last element as well. So the size of the array, it would be what J should be less than. And then J plus plus, your normal J plus plus itself. Okay, let's start by implementing this part of the code first. Okay, let's go. Now that we have understood how these two for loop works, let us go and first implement this code. Okay, let us go back. We'll have to sign in, so I will just look into it if I'm able to sign in here or not. Googler, shape your head. Okay, so right over here, guys, let us start coding it. Okay, so for int I is equals to 0, I is less than nums dot size. All this we have learned how to get the size of the array and everything we have learned in our previous class. There's nothing new right over here, guys. We will just increase this so that you guys are able to see the code properly. And then I plus plus. Inside of that, we'll put another for loop of ours. For int J is equals to 0, J is less than nums dot size J plus plus. Okay, so we have implemented the two for loops itself, but this is not the answer, of course. Okay, the question is basically to check if it is equal to the target array or not. So for that, we'll put up an if statement. Okay, for example, in your daily life, you take up a key. Today, I will solve two questions. If I've solved two questions, only then I can go and play cricket. You create these if statements yourself, that if I do this, then only I am able to watch a movie. If I solve two questions properly, then only I will go and hang out with my girlfriend. All this is what you're doing in a daily life. Right over here as well, we have an if statement that we can implement. If nums I plus nums J is equal to target. So what is happening right over here is that we are checking if the value present at the index I and the index J, if we add them up, is it equal to target or not? This double equal to symbol is basically checking if the left hand side is equal to the right hand side or not. If they are equal, then you will get the answer. If they are not equal, then you will just move further. Okay, so if it is equal, then what should happen will go inside of these parentheses. If they are equal, then whatever should happen will go inside of this parenthesis. Okay, so we'll give the answer right over here, guys. We'll give the answer right over here. So we need to give the answer as a vector int. Okay, so we will create. So what? So this two sum, what should be the answer? So you can go and check the it right over here as well. For example, this is the input. Target is this. The answer should come as a size 2 vector. The answer should come as a size 2 vector itself. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know. That is the how we are expected to give the answer, guys. Both the indexes I and j should be coming up as a vector back to us. Are you guys able to see this? Please let me know. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a vector int, and we are going to call it as our answer. Okay, we can call it as result, you can call it as answer, whatever you want. I'm calling it as answer itself. So if our two numbers match, if our nums I plus nums j is equals to target, then I'm going to do answer dot pushback I, answer dot pushback j. That's it. I'm just adding I and j inside of my empty answer. I'm just adding I and j inside of my empty answer. Because this, we found our answer, right? We found our answer. If this is met, if this condition is met, we have already got our answer itself. So I made an error right over here. Nobody pointed it out as well. J should be equal to I plus 1. Okay. J should be equal to I plus 1. I just saw it right now itself. So once you have done this, okay, once you have done this, then you need to return the answer. Okay, you just need to return the answer, guys. So return the answer. That's it. Just need to return the vector, because here what is the return type of this sum? The sum function that is there already there. The return type of that is vector int. So we need to return the answer at the end. That is what we need to do. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Let us run this, guys. Let's check if everything is working fine or not. I think so. I'll have to make it a little bit smaller. So all the three test cases have worked. Everything is working absolutely fine. Let us pray and hope that everything is fine itself. So usually before submitting an answer, you'll get some test cases. You'll get some test cases itself. As you're able to see right over here, these are some of the test cases that has been provided to you guys. You can even put your own test case as well. For our code itself, all the three test cases have passed properly. Let us try to submit it. And see if it worked properly or not. Did we get a result? I've run my code. Okay, accepted. Submit. Is lead code not working right now? Why is it not working? Should I refresh the page once? Okay, yeah, it has been accepted. I don't know why it was not showing right over there, but it has been accepted right over here. As you're able to see inside of submissions itself, it is showing that my submissions was accepted. This is the runtime, this is the memory that it has used. Now you can even optimize it even further as well using some other. So for example, there is something called as a hash map. There's another data structure called as a hash map. You can use a hash map to optimize this to make it even faster as well. So questions will be asked to you guys in interviews like that. That okay, you have solved the question right now, everything is working fine. How can we optimize it? Make it much more time efficient itself. Then you will be using hash map to implement the question answer once again to get you a faster answer itself. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. Are you guys able to understand this, guys? Please let me know. Any questions, any queries, guys? Please let me know, guys. Any questions, any queries, guys? Please let me know. See, this is important for us, guys. This is very important for us. And I want you guys to understand the core essence of it itself. Yes, you can definitely use a while loop as well. Okay. What's a hash map? Study data structures for that. Okay. The more that you study, the more you will find out. Okay. It's the same thing. The more you uh, fuck around, the more you find. It's the same thing. Okay. So why no j is less than equal to size of array? So what is the size of array? For example, there are 6 elements and 6 is the size of array. What is the highest index of an array? That is 5, because the index count starts from 0. So the highest index is 5. So if you put up equal, less than equal to size of the array, where is the sixth index? There's no sixth index itself. It is more than enough, MGB Sunny, more than enough. Okay. So many of you guys are asking what is hash map. So for that, you will have to study a little bit further. Just like arrays and vectors are a data structure itself, in a similar manner, hash map is also a kind of a data structure that exists. So there are multiple data structures. There is lists, like a linked list. Then you are having trees, graphs, DQs, BSTs. Then you are having your stacks, greedy algorithms, many dynamic programming, many different things are there. So the more that you practice, the more that you learn in data structures and algorithms, the more you will understand. Okay. Okay, guys. So now I'll give you guys the attendance for today's class. Give me a second. And once again, guys, the next boot camp is going to be, so I hope so that you guys already know about it, right? The next boot camp is going to be on the 3rd of September, guys. Same timing. I will be the one who will be taking it, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Again, it will have like Google and Amazon certificates associated with it, as well as DevTown certificates. It is going to be the Netflix clone. We are going to create the Netflix clone using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You don't need to know anything about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We will be learning HTML, we'll be learning CSS, we'll be learning JavaScript right over there. We'll be building the entire project live in the class itself. Just like right now I'm coding and showing it to you guys. There as well, I will be coding everything and showing it to you guys line by line. I will make you guys understand it. Okay, so it is going to start on the 3rd of September, guys. So be ready for that. I hope so that many of you guys will be continuing right over there as well. And we will be able to learn a lot more. We'll be able to grow together as well. Okay. The next thing that is there is basically the attendance. So let me give you guys the attendance once. Okay, so today is the day 6. Again, guys, we have increased the number of days of the class by one more day. Okay, so instead of having a 6 days boot camp, sorry, 7 days boot camp, we are going to have an 8 days boot camp this time. So it is the C++ boot camp is basically of 8 days. I hope so that you already know the reason, because one day I had missed because of my health itself. I don't want you guys to suffer because of that, right? So this boot camp is going to be of 8 days, not of 7 days itself. Okay. The attendance has been created. The attendance link will be closed exactly at 9:06, guys. The attendance link will be closed exactly at 9:06. So please start filling up the attendance, guys. Please start filling up the attendance. Yes, MBG Sunny, I remember you. You don't have to worry about that. How's the classes going on, MGB? please start filling up the attendance, guys. The attendance link will be closed exactly at 9:06. So we'll meet in the next class, guys, and we'll continue from right over there. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, guys. Bye, guys. Bye.